Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be doing my summer reading wrap up, and I'm going to tell you every single book that I read this summer, and I'm really excited about it. So summer ends in a couple days after this goes up, so it's like perfect timing. And I think I read 28 books, so this will be fun. So the first book that I read was, well, these were like the first three. So the first one I read was People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, and this one's a really fun summer read, and it really sparked my joy for reading again. It is a second chance romance with friends to lovers, and this is such a fun story. It's about a girl named Poppy and her best friend Alex. They go to college together and they go on their big summer trip every year, but something happens on a Croatia trip and they don't talk for a couple years, and then, you know, things happen and they go on one last trip to Palm Springs together to see if they can work out what happened. I gave this one 4 stars just because the reveal was kind of like a little bit of a letdown, just a little bit. It wasn't what I thought it should be, but it was still really good and I recommend. So then after that, I immediately ordered Beach Read by Emily Henry. This one is a 5-star for me. It's about a girl named January, and she moves into her father's old beach house, and she happens to be neighbors with her old college rival, Gus. And they basically are both authors, and they challenge each other to write each other's genre, so they go on little fun activities to help them write, and it's so fun. So fun. I loved everything about this book. It's so good. So then, naturally, I got Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and I absolutely adore this book. This is 5 stars. I can't tell if my favorite is Beach Read or Book Lovers because I love them both, but I loved every single part of this book. I love it with my whole soul. This book is about a girl named Nora, and she is, what is she? A literary agent, and basically she has this one client that wrote a really popular book that is set in a place in North Carolina, and it's her sister's favorite book. So they travel there. Yeah, so Libby and Nora, they go to Sunshine Falls for a month, and they have this whole like bucket list of things they want to do, and Nora runs into Charlie, who's an editor and did not like the book about Sunshine Falls. So there's kind of like a little bit of like enemies to lovers, a little bit. But this book really, like, I don't know, the relationship is not the focal point of this book. So if you are looking for like a big romance book, you're probably not gonna like this one, because I feel like that's the complaint, is like people are like, this is boring, but it's more about Nora and Libby and how they deal like with grief and stuff. So and like, yeah, growing apart and like moving apart and stuff like that. That's more what this is about. The other ones are more, I would say, relationship focused, but this one is definitely more about Libby and Nora. So just keep that in mind when you're reading this. Next book I read was Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I gave this one a 4. It's probably more like a 3. I just really liked Erin. I hated Lena. She made me mad. This book was like, I don't know, basically about Lena. She needs a wedding date and to her sister's wedding in Spain. She doesn't want to go alone, and then Erin's like, I'll go with you, but they're like mortal enemies and she doesn't want to do it. But it is fake dating, and fake dating is my favorite trope. So like, I did enjoy it, but I just like, Lena really made me mad. Like, if this book was dual point of view, I would have liked it a lot more, I think, because I wouldn't have had to like be in that girl's head the whole time. Oh my god. But yeah, this was pretty fun. It was a little long. It's 437 pages, so it could have been condensed. There's like, okay, this book was boring until page 200 when they got on the plane to go to Spain. The whole, like, I don't know what even happened in those first 200 pages, but it was boring. Anyway, but you know, I enjoyed it once they were in Spain. It's just like getting there. It was not fun. And then the next book I read was The UnHoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. I think it's so fun. If you like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, like the movie, you'll like love this. It's not the exact same, but it's pretty darn close. At least in the first half, it's pretty close. It's about Olive. She has really bad luck, and she has a twin sister named Ami that has really good luck all the time. They're complete opposites. But then one day, Ami gets some bad luck, and Olive gets a free honeymoon when she pretends to be Ami. But the catch is she has to go with Ami's brother-in-law, who she hates. But they have to basically be fake married on this honeymoon. So, you know, that's why I picked that up, because I like fake dating. They kind of go on an adventure. They kind of fall in love. And then there's a big twist towards the end, which is really good. I don't want to say anything about it because I wasn't expecting it. I just think it's better to leave that unsaid. But this was really, really good. I really liked it. I think this was the next one I read, which was Dating You, Hating You by Christina Lauren. I gave this one a 2 because I thought it was really boring. I was expecting like a little bit of workplace, but this was really like they were just competing for a job. There was really no romance. I didn't believe they really liked each other at all. So it was just really boring. It's about Evie and Carter. They are like movie agents, and they work in Hollywood. Their companies merged. It's kind of like The Hating Game, but not as good. That's what I got about this. Like, it's just not it. Oh, I forgot my Kindle reads. So I have The Off Limits Rule by Sarah Adams. I read this on Kindle Unlimited, and this was so cute. I gave this 5 stars. I loved everything about it. It was exactly what I wanted at the moment. It's just a fun time. A little bit of fake dating in this. It is about a single mother. She moves back in with her brother, and basically there's a brother's best friend trope, and yeah, it's just really cute. And it's like not forbidden romance, but they're like, we can't do, you know that sort of thing. So it's so cute. It's so short. It's under 300 pages, and it's 5 stars for me. And then on my Kindle Unlimited, I also read the second book in this series, which is called The Temporary Roomie by Sarah Adams. I gave that one a 2 because I hated Jessie. And I don't even want to talk about that. I don't want to say it was really bad. It was just not for me. It was not for me. I did not like their pranks. I did not find them funny. They were a little humiliating, but they were like forced to room together because something, it's about Jessie and Drew, and then there's Lucy and Cooper. Read about Lucy and Cooper. Just skip Jessie and Drew. That's all I gotta say about that. But this one was wonderful. Cooper and Lucy's son Levi, just melts in my heart. It is so good. And then the next book I read was also Kindle Unlimited, and it was To Love, Jason Thorn. I don't remember who wrote it, but I gave that one a 3 because some of the writing was a little Wattpad-y for me. But I did like the story. And also the age gap was a little weird for me, but you know, it is what it is. It's basically childhood friends to strangers to fake dating to lovers kind of thing, and he's a superstar. If you're not careful with the superstar trope, like it can get really Wattpad-y. But basically, I believe her name was Olive too. Yeah, I think her name was Olive. Olive is an author. Jason Thorn is a movie star. Jason gets himself into a little bit of scandal and he needs to settle down. Olive, it works out because her book is getting turned into a movie. Jason's starring in the movie. It's like a perfect little setup, and they have to get fake married. And that's about it. Like, I don't need to say anything else about that. I've said enough. You want to read it? You want to read it. I gave it 3 stars. It's not bad. I think it would be a better movie though. The next thing I read was Where the Crawdads Sing. No, it wasn't. The next thing I read was my favorite book ever. I read this it's on Kindle Unlimited, or at least it is right now. It's called Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. It's so cute. I bought this one after reading it on Kindle Unlimited. I read the whole thing in one day. I've like annotated this one a little bit. I've read it twice this summer. I love it so much. It's about a girl named Liz her and her mom grow up watching rom-coms and they're like hopeless romantics. Her mom passes away, but she still wants that rom-com ending because she knows that's what her mom would want. And so she's like trying to get her perfect prom date with her old childhood lover that she knows her mom would like love. So she needs to fake date Wes, which is her obnoxious neighbor that she hates, her enemies to lovers. Yeah, so they're enemies. Basically, Liz is living in her own romantic comedy, but she doesn't know that it's enemies to lovers is the trope, and that's not the trope she's looking for. But she basically learns throughout the book that like you can make your own ending, but enemies to lovers is their trope. That's all I gotta say. Oh, and every chapter in this book, I forgot the most like cutest thing. Every chapter in this book has a rom-com quote. To start it, that sums up the chapter, and I think it's so adorable and so fitting. And Liz also loves to make like soundtracks that would fit the situations in her life. So at the back of this book, there's a cute little soundtrack that goes with every song that she mentioned in the book. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. I'm gonna flash it real quick. Look, cute little, like, adorable, 5 stars. It's my favorite book. That's why it's right here. It's my favorite. I love it so much. Anyway, next book I read, Where the Crawdads Sing. I give this book a 4, but it's not a 4 until the very end. It's very slow. It's literary fiction. It's about a girl who lives in a marsh. It's about survival. There's a little bit of like romance and love triangle, but not super much. It's the trial at the end that really makes this book like, ooh, like, did she do it or did she not? Like, it could go either way. Like, I was like, I could not stop turning. But yeah, it was a little boring up until then. It's a little overhyped in my opinion, but I still enjoyed it. You know, that's all I gotta say about that. But the trial, so good. And the ending was really cool too. I liked the ending. I think this was the next one. 7 Husbands of Evelyn and Hugo. I'm filming on my phone, so I can't just like look at my Goodreads. It would be a lot easier if I could, but I'm not doing it that way. So 7 Husbands of Evelyn and Hugo, I gave a 5-star. It's so good. I could not put this down. I really couldn't. It's about Evelyn Hugo. She's a famous actress and she wants to write a memoir and to talk about her life and her 7 husbands and what really went on behind closed doors. So, so good, so good. Like, oh, I'm so excited for when they make this into a movie. I'm just like, I can't wait. It's told in kind of like Evelyn is telling it, kind of. Oh, it's just so good. Like, in the plot twist at the end, I was not expecting. I should have probably, if I was more of like an advanced reader at this point, I probably would have expected it, but I didn't. And I loved every moment of this book. So good. It just talks about her life as a celebrity. I loved it. Then I got COVID and I read a lot of books. So first off, we have The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. I give this one a 3. I thought Nathan and Bree were a little childish. They were almost 30. And I was just like, come on. Like, why are we fighting? Anyway, they're not fighting, but like, why aren't we just like saying this could have, like, just, maybe it wasn't what I wanted at the time. Like, I don't know. But this one wasn't bad. It's about like a famous football player named Nathan and Bree, who's a ballet teacher. And they're like in love with each other, you know, friends to lovers, sports romance. I don't even, oh, he makes like a cheat sheet on how to like get the girl. That's like the whole thing. So, you know. Oh, and there's also fake dating a little bit. So, you know. And then I read Dial A for Aunties and For Aunties in a Wedding by Jessie Q. Sutanto. I absolutely loved this book, like way more than I thought I would. So the first book, Dial A for Aunties, follows Nettie, who is a photographer in her family wedding vendor business. So the business consists of her mom and her 3 aunties, and they each have a different responsibility for wedding vendors. Like, for example, Meddy's mom does the flowers. Big aunt does the cakes. The 4th aunt is the entertainment. And then the 2nd aunt is the makeup artist. So, you get like your one-stop shop to wedding vendors. And Meddy's mom like wants Meddy to get married, so she like makes a dating profile. She's talking to this guy, and Meddy's like, fine, I'm going on the date. Things go south. The guy is dead. The guy is dead. And Meddy's like, what do I do? Meddy calls her aunts, and she's like, hey, we gotta get rid of this guy. And they're like, on it. So they spend the whole book trying to like get rid of this body. But the catch is they're at a wedding that they're working at, and this body just shows up. So they have to try to keep the wedding on track and then get rid of this body, and it's so good. So good. I was laughing. And then I gave that one a 5 stars. This one's like a 4.5 for me. 4 Aunties in a Wedding. It's the 2nd book, takes place like literally right after the first one ends. They're at another wedding this time, you know, but this time the twist is the mafia's at the wedding, so they have to figure out how to deal with that and like keep people alive and like while the mafia's at the wedding. Super funny. Super funny. I really recommend these books. They're so fun. And then next I want to talk about my first Colleen Hoover book called Verity. This book is also 5 stars for me. Oh my god. Oh my god. I did not read the back of this book. I had no idea what it was about. That was on me. I read nothing about it. I just heard this one was not very cringe, because sometimes I've heard that her writing can be cringe. So I was like, okay, I'll get the one that has really high reviews. So I got this one. I was like, I'll go in blind. I don't want any opinions swaying me. I didn't know. Look at the trigger warnings for this book, first of all. Oh my god, it was so good. I like stared at the wall after I finished it. But basically, it's about a girl named Lowen, who she's like an author, and she's contacted to help finish Verity's books because she can't write the rest of the series and she needs to write a couple more books. So they contact Lowen to ask her to be like a writer and finish them. And she's like, sure. And she finds out some sketchy stuff is happening because she finds this manuscript and then she reads it. Oh my god. And then something happens at the end. And I'm like, oh my god. I can't even talk about this. Like, just read it, and then we'll discuss. That's all I gotta say. 5 stars though. So, next I want to talk about Daisy Jones and the Six. That's what I want to talk about next. This book I gave a 3. It's a little boring. But I think it'll be a good show. Only because it's written like a freaking script. I don't know, I liked it at first. I was like, oh, it's so fun, it's so different. But then I kind of got bored. I was like, can you just show me it instead of telling it to me? You know, because they're like telling it to you. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but like, you can see like, just Karen, and then whatever she's saying. I don't know. And like, compared to The 7 Husbands of Evelyn and Hugo, this one was not very exciting to me. I didn't really care. I didn't care about the characters that much. It was a good read. It just was like, this one's like really overhyped. It's definitely not 5 stars to me, at least. But I had a lot higher expectations going in, and I was a little let down. That's all I gotta say. It's fun though. It's like, it's talking about like a band and how they formed and like the peak and their eventual breakup. Like, if that interests you, if you like Fleetwood Mac, like similar vibes, you'll probably like it. Sorry, my allergies are acting up today. That's why I sound like this. Ooh. Okay, we'll talk about Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, which I gave a 2. Again, not a lot happened. It's not really fake dating, but they set up like terrible dates and they're friends to lovers and they go on like double dates. It's just really boring, and I think they're better friends than a couple, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's just not for me. I don't know. I liked the characters. I liked Josh. I liked Hazel. I liked everybody in the book. I just don't think they're a couple. That's all. Like, I don't know. And the ending was terrible. I hated the ending. I don't know, it kind of made him feel like they were together by default. Like, I don't know. We'll talk about Good Girls Guide to Murder. Oh my god. I gave this book a 4 because some points were unrealistic, but we have to keep in mind this is a YA thriller, so there is obviously going to be parts that are unrealistic because it's more entertaining that way, but you know. This is so good. It follows Pip, who is doing her senior capstone project, and she wants to do it on a murder that happened in her small town. And she thinks that the guy that was framed for it is innocent, and she wanted to prove him as such. So she conducts this whole like investigation, and she ends up solving it. First of all, she ends up solving it, but it kind of shows you like she has her log, she has transcripts of interviews, she has, I don't know, it's really just fun to read it. Like, there's a map, like if she's making something, it's in the book, so you can like get a visual of it. Like if there's evidence, it's in the book. So good. I read most of this in like one day. Like, it was really good. I gave it a 4 just because I was like, come on, like they're not gonna let a 17-year-old just like solve a murder. Come on, like you know what I'm saying? But like, it was really good. Once you got past that, it was really good. Next book, The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. I love it. I love it so much. I'm reading her other book, Love on the Brain, right now. I'm liking that one a lot too. But I give this one 5 stars. And it's like Olive, because people are only named Olive and Lucy in rom-coms, you know? Olive, she's a grad student. She's going, I think she's applying for a PhD, I believe, and she needs to fake date in this trope, or in this book, and that ends up being Adam, who is a professor. Basically, she wants to make sure her friend doesn't think she still likes this guy, and she's like, no, you can date him, and she's like, no, I can't because you like him. And she's like, no, I don't. So Adam needs to fake date her so he can get a grant, and it's just cute. It's a very good STEM romance. I liked it a lot, and I think you will too. We're getting down to the wire here. Oh, Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. This book was so good. I was scared. This is 5 stars for me. I was scared to read this one because obviously Christina Lauren is hit or miss with me. It's like 5 stars or 2. Like, clearly, I have 2 5-star books and 2 3. 2 2-star books. So, but this book was amazing. It was childhood's friends to lovers, second chance romance. You know, it's at a lake house. Like, it's just so good. And the reveal was like, actually like made sense. I was like, oh, that's why they didn't talk for 10 years. Like, yeah, I get it. And I cried. I didn't think I would because it's like, oh, I feel like dramatic. Like, no, I cried. It was so good. I loved this book with everything in me. And they're like, Elliot and Macy, oh, they're like soulmates. And I liked this book better than People We Meet on Vacation, but it's the same format, like the then and now timeline, which I really liked, which I liked in People We Meet on Vacation a lot. It's just the reveal was better, which is why I liked it better. But it's so good. It was so good. So good. And then we're going to talk about a bad book. I don't want to talk about it long, but My Killer Vacation is the only book I've ever given a 1 star. By disability. I didn't like anything about this book. It put me into a slump, and it's literally under 300 pages, so like I should have thrown through this. Like, it is a small little book, but I did not like it. Okay, basically it's about like this girl named Taylor. She's going on vacation with her brother. She finds a dead body, and then the police are like, the guy's like kind of weird, and like, no, they don't want to investigate it. So like the sister of the guy that died hires a bounty hunter. Bounty hunter is Miles. Miles is really creepy. Like, Miles is severely creepy. They barely interact with each other, Taylor and Miles. They're like, it's just, there's barely any mystery in it too. Like, I'm just mad about it because everybody was rating the stars like 4 or 5-star book, and I was like, where? they just threw in like, oh my god, a clue every 50 pages. Like, I forgot that this was a mystery book. It was just gross. I hated it. I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean, but like, I didn't like this one. And I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to talk about it. Oh, but I do want to talk about this one. I do want to talk about this one, which is Mr. Wrong Number by Lynn Painter. 5 stars. I love Lynn. I love Lynn. This book is about a girl. Her name is Olivia. Not Olive, Olivia. And her apartment moves down and she has to move back in with her brother. Her brother lives with a guy named Colin. And so this is a brother's best friend romance. A little bit of enemies to lovers. But basically Olive gets a text one day from a random number, and then her and this random number start texting, just, you know, having fun. They don't know who, like, they're each other's name. Like, they don't know each other's names or anything. They're just having fun. Mr. Wrong Number. My God, okay. She calls him Mr. Wrong Number. He calls her Miss Misstyle. Okay? That is the vibes. They find out that it's each other. Like, Colin and Olivia have been texting each other as Mr. Wrong Number and Miss Misstyle. The banter in this book is so fun. Like, Lynn is really good at, like, some dialogue. Very good. I give this book 5 stars. I loved it. I will read any book Lynn Painter comes out with, and then that sparked me to reread Better Than the Movies, because I was like, yeah, I want to stay in Lynn's worlds. That's what I wanted to do. So then the day that I finished Better Than the Movies, the bonus, I think it's called Better Than the Prom, she had a bonus chapter of Wes and his point of view at the prom. So I technically read that, but yeah, so good. I think that's everything. So I hope you enjoyed. I know I did. But yeah, that is every book I read this summer, and I'll see you next time.